So thanks once again for dropping by the channel. If you like the content, if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe, share the video if you enjoyed it, felt it was useful. Now let's get into this. So, Zach Parker knocks out Rohan Murdock in the 11th round, literally the very end of the 11th round. This fight, well, Rohan Murdock is a fighter I've actually never heard of. Like, prior to this fight, I had never heard of the guy, an Australian super middleweight. Never heard of him. Zach Parker, a fighter I have heard of. I've done reviews for his fights on this channel. I seen his fight against Darryl Williams and I thought he got an absolute gift in that fight. He looked way better against Rohan Murdock than he did against Williams. Now, to be fair, against Darryl Williams, he did have an injury in that fight, it has to be said. So this is definitely a Zach Parker firing 100%. He looked better from the outset. He looked a lot sharper. Murdock, he had very limited success in this fight. He wanted this fight fought close because Zach Parker was quite a good long-range boxer. And he wanted this fight fought close up. You could tell that with Murdock. But whenever he came in close, Zach Parker seemed to be getting the better of it. Now, early on in the fight, you could tell Murdock was maybe a little bit overawed by the occasion, I want to say, or maybe a little bit gung-ho. So the first two rounds he really didn't do much. He started coming into it more in the third round, but then maybe it would have been the fourth round actually. He started coming into it more, but then after that, what he started doing was he would get moments where he'd look somewhat decent, and he just start showboating. He'd start throwing arm punches, and even in the rounds that were close, you just felt that the better work was coming from Zach Parker. And, I definitely thought that he was well ahead at the time of the stoppage. It was actually quite heartbreaking for Murdock because I think in the 9th round was one of his better rounds. And after that, it was just all Zach Parker. He just couldn't put a foot wrong. End came in the 11th round. A barrage of punches by Zach Parker, culminating in a nice left hand. Zach Parker was fighting out the southpaw stance, looked very good. End came with a big left hand, went in. Murdock went down, got back to his feet. That this was the end. Like, really, this was near the end. I think in the last few seconds of the 11th round, he hadn't been badly beaten, he hadn't been buzzed, got dropped by that left hand, got back to his feet. The referee had a look at him and waved it off. Now, seeing that live, you kind of think, why are you waving it off? The guy's not taking a beating. But looking at the reaction from Team Parker, or the reaction from Team Murdock, and looking at the way Murdock was in the replays, it was definitely the correct decision for them to stop the fight. Definitely. So Zach Parker, this was built as, an eliminator. Not a final eliminator, but both guys were ranked 1 and 2 respectively by the WBO. This was for, I believe, an international WBO title. So you would imagine the winner of this fight is going to be mandated to fight the winner of Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo. Now, Zach Parker, they're not going to give him a Canelo fight. We'd imagine that Billy Joe versus Canelo was going to be next, and you would imagine Canelo Alvarez would come through that fight. Zach Parker, nice win. Really don't think Canelo's going to give this guy a title shot anytime soon. Not because he's, anything special, but because not many people know who the hell he is. And you could say that about Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding had a regular WBA title. That's the main reason why he got that fight. Zach Parker doesn't have anything. So, be interesting to see who he fights. They may go down the road of, this may be a good opponent for Callum Smith, because Callum Smith, as we know, if he doesn't get this Canelo fight, which it seems unlikely now, there's going to be an opponent they're going to need to put him in there with, because if you look at the super middleweight division, you've only got John Ryder and Danny Jacobs as viable opponents. So Zach Parker may end up getting a shot at Callum Smith, which might be a decent fight. Zach Parker's not a bad fighter, okay? He's not. And the Darryl Williams fight, as I said, when I watched it, I thought he lost. Most people thought he lost. I thought it was an absolute robbery. But he was injured, and it was a bad enough injury. I think it was a dislocated shoulder or something like that he had. So the fact that he survived that fight was testament to his heart, to his toughness. He was fortunate to get the decision, in my opinion. I thought Williams beat the crap out of him, to be fair. But it is what it is. So those are my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, of course, if you are new. And as always, I will talk to you after.